My name is Simon Clark. I was an electrician. I worked in all sorts of buildings, or old buildings, new buildings, hospitals, especially schools, when I was apprentice especially, and worked with a lot of asbestos. And this is why I've contracted this disease, mesothelioma. It started some 40 years ago, before I was diagnosed, and it was through working in this industry in those particular places that I got it. I mean, we used to do all the cutting when we were younger, do all the holes, collect all the rubbish up at the end of the day, put it all away with all the dust and everything. So that's how I've actually caught it. What's it done to my life? Well, I've lost a company. I run my own business. It's a very sad thing to do, a very lonely place to be, to have mesothelioma. And when I was told by the doctor, after 9 months of pain and tests, they found out that I'd got mesothelioma. What it did, well, it ruined us really. They sat us down in a room and said, "You've got this mesothelioma." Never heard of it. Never heard of such a thing. My wife knew what it was, and she started crying. So I sat in a room with a consultant and looking at him, and I said, "Well, what does that mean?" He said, "What it means is you've got 3 options. I'll give you option number 1, we don't do anything, and you'll be dead in 3 months. Option number 2, you can have chemotherapy, possible 12 months, some have lasted 2 years. Option 3, you can have an operation, and they'll, up to 2 years has been achieved." And I said straight away, and I didn't even think about it, I'll have the operation. And a few days later I was having an operation. They remove your lung, they scrape it all, remove the lining, scrape it all the tumour off it, stick it all back together, remove my diaphragm, because it was on the diaphragm, remove the part of the lining of my heart, and they scraped it off my esophagus. And then they put it all back together, stick you all together, that's what they do, you use glue. They stick you together and off you go. 6 days later I was going home. I then contracted a infection which nearly killed me, and I was in intensive care for 2 weeks. But I managed to pull through that, thank goodness, and here I am now 7.5 years later. One of only 3% that's still alive after 5 years has had the operation.